There's no shortage of videos explaining how to make fast money with AI tools like Midjourney or ChatGPT, but most of the ideas being shared have a huge flaw. What's more, the real opportunity is just under the surface. By next year, anyone who hasn't realized what I'm about to tell you will likely end up like the people who ignored every disruptive technology before. So let's take a look at the landscape of making money online right now. For someone who's just starting out, the easiest way to get started is typically picking an online platform and getting into dropshipping, print on demand, or digital products. Once someone finds success with one of these avenues, they usually level up by taking some element of that business in-house to start boosting their profit margins, like buying a printer, stocking inventory, or building their own website and driving traffic through successful ad campaigns. That's online money-making YouTube in a nutshell. And that formula is actually not what's about to change. The sales platforms, product categories, and even the obstacles leading up to getting that sale are the same. What's about to change forever is the competition. Before I reveal why, let's consider the historic challenges that cause startups to fail. Lack of product market fit, running out of cash, or having a lack of skill. If you're just starting out, you either have to wear all of the hats and be good enough at everything to stand out, partner with someone who complements your skills, or have enough money to pay someone to do what you can't. The last thing is poor execution, and it encompasses anything about your system that could be broken and preventing you from getting sales or growth. In my own experience, even though it was overwhelming at times, all it took to become successful was taking advantage of the opportunities when they presented themselves and then not tripping over too many of my own shortcomings on the way up. Because at the end of the day, I was in competition with a bunch of other people just like me. But that's changing forever. If you're following along with me so far, please take a second to like the video and subscribe, because we're on the edge of a technological revolution. Looking back on history, each major breakthrough was accompanied by the breakdown of the old systems and the emergence of new innovation. The people who won were those who recognized what was happening and then pivoted while there was still time. A growing number of people are devoting every free second to learning how to evolve their approach, because they understand the monumental implications of what I'm about to share with you. Today, anyone with a phone or computer has access to entities capable of providing excellent advice and creative input.
Who are you, who are so wise in the ways of science?
I'm ChatGPT.
Also, by just describing an idea, they can receive an endless stream of quality artwork in any style they want. Unlike human consultants, they're willing to fully engage with virtually anything you can think to ask them, are available 24/7, and will do all of that work for free. It's like a choosing beggar's dream. Almost. Because to get unlimited free labor, you have to ask for it in what's essentially a newly forming language. For anyone who tried to learn another language, that's real fun the older you get. But in a changing world, that means opportunity when the existing players are slow to adapt. This newly forming language is called prompt engineering, and it may be completely obsolete in 2 years, but during this transitionary time, it's going to be the dominant language. To fully understand exactly how making money online and really all forms of the economy are changing forever, think about the AI revolution like an avalanche. From the moment it was unleashed, it became inevitable. It's already left the starting zone and it's moving. It's a ways off. Some people are saying it's the end of the world, but it doesn't seem to be taking any jobs yet. Let me just say, that mountain's worth of snow is real, it's picking up speed, and it's heading right for us. The only thing you and I have control over is how we react. For anyone who hesitates, it'll be too late. And at that point, the best hope for a lot of people will be a St. Bernard sniffing them out with a can of universal basic income. But for you and I, there's still time. There's a famous picture of Bill Gates holding a CD while suspended over a tower of paper. CDs hold 700 megabytes, and in the mid-90s, he was showing that just one CD could replace 330,000 pieces of paper. GPT-3, the last generation model that ChatGPT was more or less launched with, was pre-trained on 45 terabytes of data. It's very hard to put that into perspective, but using our Bill Gates analogy, that amount of data would be like him sitting on a stack of CDs 2.5 times taller than a stack of paper. If it was a single book, it would be 2,300 kilometers thick and reach from London to Athens. Even with all of that knowledge, GPT-3 was scoring the bottom 10% of tests like the bar. Unprecedented and amazing, but losing to a hungover law student didn't thrust it into our collective consciousness. Fast forward just 2 years. GPT-4 completed the bar exam, and the SAT, and the LSAT, and the GRE, scoring in the top percentiles for all of them. It went from below the bottom of the class to the top of the class in a single generation. It did that in half the time it would take a student to get a bachelor's degree, and it made advancements in every conceivable field of discipline. Through improvements like plugins and the transition from text to multimodal training, it can look at pictures, explain what's going on, and understand contextual cues as to why an image is humorous. In 2012, people used an example like this as proof that AI projections were essentially science fiction, and that what you can do for $20 today should be decades away from reality. Through prompting, you can get a model like GPT-4 to convincingly take on personas based on well-known people, philosophies, and written works. It is not like Google. It's like talking to someone with photographs photographic recall who memorized most of written human knowledge, but it has huge gaps in common sense. You might have heard how Einstein couldn't tie his shoes, but he came up with a theory of general relativity. Typing to ChatGPT is a lot like that sometimes. It requires excellent communication skills and specificity through prompt engineering to extract the most value from it. If you ask a consultant to do something, they know to ask questions that draw out the necessary information until they feel mostly confident that they can deliver what you want. Midjourney and ChatGPT output based on input. There's no consultant there to chime in and say, well, your request is too vague or contradictory. Instead, they'll deliver the best quality result they can with any instruction you give them. The worse your instruction, the worse your results. A lot of people tried out one of these tools, fired off a short, vague prompt, got a mediocre result, and then wrote off AI. Other people leaned in, and they're the ones getting incredible results. We're in an interesting situation. AI isn't changing where people go to buy physical goods like online retail did. It's also not replacing one product category with another, like Netflix and streaming did to Blockbuster and video rental, or iPhone and smartphones did to BlackBerry and basic cell phones.
It's a revolutionary mobile phone.
Instead, it's going to massively upgrade the quality coming out of the companies and the individuals behind the products you buy, or more concerning for you and I, our competition and the products they sell. You may be wondering, how exactly will they take advantage of this opportunity? Earlier, I said there was no shortage of videos talking about how to make fast money right now. One of the first opportunities I came across was how to make AI portraits that earn hundreds of dollars a day on Fiverr. At the time, you needed a strong computer, lots of knowledge, hours of model training, and good context images to get any kind of decent result. If you were fully positioned to take advantage of that opportunity, you had around 4 months before Lensa released their magic avatars in December of 2022. How many people do you think made any real money before Lensa effectively monopolized that market? The AI revolution is in full swing and accelerating. There's no stopping it. And while it's going to change the landscape of our world, it doesn't change the fundamental principles of what makes a business successful, or the fact that larger, better positioned players can pivot and dominate obvious markets, crushing individuals and startups along the way. With the tools and players evolving so rapidly, this isn't the time to jump into an evaporating opportunity. Any variation of arbitraging tools before they become common knowledge is a waste, especially if you're just starting out. Remember when I said the real opportunity was just underneath the surface? Instead of making a business out of the AI tools, I'm focusing on my existing businesses and opportunities because that's where I'm already established and experienced. I'm examining the challenges that are common to all startups and then looking for ways to 10x my team's output with those AI tools. If that sounds relevant to you, hit like and subscribe while I share a very specific example. This is a solution to a challenge my team faced recently that's unique to me, but it's an example of how you can approach this in your own business. One of my companies only drives traffic through social media influencers and ads. Our rapid rise allowed us to ignore SEO for 2.5 years. Under the banner of SEO, there's multiple skill sets required. Even someone experienced enough to handle each of the individual components would get buried under the workload. 2 months ago, I decided to tackle our SEO problem, but it presented an opportunity to see if we could leverage AI. Nearly every applicant was used to working on a team, so I had to find someone who was both skilled and flexible enough to try this out with. In the end, I hired a team lead with 7 years of experience to work on SEO full-time. For the first month, his job was to become deeply familiar with our company, our competition, and our analytics. At that point, typically a team would get involved to start implementing our strategy. Instead, we walked through the entire process and laid out the action steps. Then, we wrote out the time-consuming and skilled tasks that would normally be assigned to other team members. That's when we had ChatGPT act as its own prompt engineer, and the three of us brainstormed a prompt that we could use to create an expert personality for each of the tasks we needed done. He still uses tools like SEMrush, however, where he would traditionally package that information and assign tasks to a title or a meta description or content writer, he now turns it over to our ChatGPT personas. The workload did change in a few ways. There's the added work of being involved in the entire process. However, that additional cost is offset by not having to spend time in meetings, answer questions, or wait for hours for a human writer between edits. He's able to iterate on high quality drafts in real time, make final manual adjustments, and get the finished product out rapidly. By treating ChatGPT's personas like virtual workers, we've outsourced many of the time consuming and mentally draining tasks. Now, one person can leverage their expertise and research to get great results. With just 2 people, our SEO lead acting as a self-contained team, and a designer also leveraging AI, my company can punch upwards by accomplishing high-quality results that would normally take a larger team on a fraction of their budget. One thing I realized during the First Growth Accelerator, a business coaching program I ran a few years ago, is that every entrepreneur faces challenges that are extremely unique to them and their situation. It can be overwhelming, causing people to freeze with indecision and miss opportunities along the way. What I discovered was that while every situation and solution is different, the approach to finding that solution is almost always universal. And I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. The only business that doesn't have challenges is the one that hasn't been started yet. The only obstacles that can destroy your business are the ones you can't figure out how to overcome. So whether you're just starting out or you're trying to grow your business in this changing world, now is the time to find out everything you don't know, especially about AI, and to take one more step in your business, even when you feel frozen. Because as soon as you start to learn what questions to ask, For the first time in history, you might just have an expert on hand to provide you with answers and real solutions. The AI revolution is here to stay, and it's up to us to adapt and evolve with the changing landscape or watch our dreams die. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.